Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live. How are you? We have yet another sunny day here. And I know I've been saying that, but we had our fair share of rain recently, too. It is 79 degrees and sunny. It's so nice. I took a walk this morning and I was almost chilly. So usually I like to avoid the sides of the street that are pure sun and go on the sides of the street that have a lot of mature trees for the shade. Today it was like borderline. I was almost looking for the sun because it was so chilly. I'll tell y'all, I'm such a wimp when it comes to cold weather. But anyways, I just realized I don't think all the mascara, it wasn't mascara, it was like this eyeliner thing. I don't think I took all my makeup off last night, when you're kind of lazy. I just don't think it all got off. Anyways, I did actually have makeup on last night, went to a super fun event, got a couple of fun things this week. So anyways, thank you, Kimberly Joy. Nice that you can join live. Thank you, Christina, reminding everybody to hit the heart button and be first. Hello, Mel. How the heck are you? Okay. Does anyone have a 2-story and wish they had a 1-story? Because that is me. My light that I use for next to the camera has to charge. Hey, Libby and Yvonne. And I brought it down to charge yesterday, and then I forgot it when I came up. And then I had like 2 minutes, had to run down and run up. And I'm like, I'm not meant for these 18 stairs at 51. I'm not made for it anymore. Like, I dream of going to a 1-story so bad. And so I went with my girlfriend today, and she picked me up and we hit Home Goods because we have to bring something that goes along with our charcuterie board. So I found at Home Goods those prepackaged nuts because it can't be perishable. Anyways, it has all these rules for this event. So we were going there to get our stuff that goes along with the charcuterie board. Obviously not perishable food. Anyways, and we're both at the stage of just like wanting to redo our whole houses, downsize like crazy. Like, we're just dreaming of all new furniture, all new decor, everything. So anyways, people that are dreaming of things is Erin Leachy. So Erin Leachy just announced with People magazine today that she is pregnant with her 4th child, her and Abe from Real Housewives of New York City. So she gives a little tease about tonight's New York, though. She says the pregnancy that we're talking about tonight is not the same pregnancy. So I don't know what happened, but we can all guess that something maybe happened with the pregnancy. And they were talking about that tonight, and now she's pregnant. So I'm sort of surprised if this was on the show that it never got leaked out by anyone. So anyways, clearly she posts a lot. She was the first, she might be probably the only New York housewife that I follow. And I liked her from day one, y'all know. And she posts a lot and a lot of pictures of herself. So this baby bump was either hidden really well or she was using all sorts of old stuff. So our old pictures, not old stuff, because I don't know, her dad only passed away. God, I have to look up the date, maybe a month ago, maybe 5-ish, 6 weeks ago. And she says that her dad knew about the pregnancy then. So anyways, which is, I'm thankful about, right? That he at least knew that she was having another baby. Okay. Speaking of moms, sort of. Okay. Two more people. Britney Spears has kind of been estranged from her 2 boys for a long time. Her ex, Kevin Federline, has been raising them, I think, with his wife, and they might have a baby of their own. I don't know. I don't really follow him too much. Anyway, she has been living in Hawaii. He has been living in Hawaii with the 2 boys, and she obviously lives in LA area. So now we hear that the youngest that just turned 18, this month is going to be her last $10,000 child support payment to him. And we learned that he is living in LA, finishing up college or high school with somebody. I don't know who he's living with, but somebody. And it sounds like Kevin Federline didn't even know that that he had gotten together. So I'm wondering if there was a spat with him. Clearly, we hear about this all the time where kid gets upset with one parent or another, and it's like, well, then I'm moving in with mom or I'm moving in with dad. So who knows what happened? But, obviously for Britney's sake, as a mom, I can't imagine not being in touch or on good terms with my kids or both of them. So I'm just happy she's on good terms with one of them for now. Thank you. Lisa says, hey, y'all, don't forget to hit the like button for Sarah, please. Thank you so much. No. Yeah, exactly. Mama Judy says, stairs in the houses can be good exercise, but when we reach a certain age, we don't need to exercise like that. Yeah, it's just exhausting. Like I dream of a big ranch, one story. Y'all know I watch House Hunters all the time. I have a big backyard. I don't want to pull anymore, although I love it for right now. I think in a few years I won't want to pull. So anyways, Krista, she's getting up there in age. Krista says, God, please, please don't let Britney Spears get pregnant again. That poor girl. Remember with her latest husband, she was it Sam or the latest? Was Sam the latest husband? Good Lord. There's been so many boyfriends, husbands. I think it was Sam she was talking about getting pregnant with, or even saying that she was, Lord knows there's other stuff going on with her. So, but I do feel like at one point she was talking about having another baby, but clearly she has not. So anyways, that's scary. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Clearly in Texas, or at least in South Texas, we don't have basements. I wonder if they have no one's. Let me think. All around Texas, I think maybe North Texas, they might have basements. Lulu, come here, boo-boos. Come here, girl. Okay, you want to take her down or no? Okay. Oh, I was wondering why she was making noise. My kids are home. Christina says, stop putting washers and dryers in the basement. Yeah, especially when they're unfinished or steep stairs, or I see these basements all the time that don't have like a handrail, a guardrail. I'm like, like you're already holding laundry. You're already holding on the comforter for dear life. You can't see in front of you. No, we do not need washers and dryers in the basement. Growing up though, our washer and dryer unit was in our attached garage, but the door to the garage didn't exactly, it was kind of like this. Does that make sense? The backyard, the house didn't go directly into the garage. Like, my first two houses were one stories like that. So anyways, I've seen that. That makes me worry when there's a leak or something though. Tiffany Chump says, I got lucky with my washer and dryer and they're upstairs. Never even realized that was the thing until people started telling me, especially if all bedrooms are upstairs or most of them. Because I can tell you, I can do laundry, I can dry clothes, I can sort it all out. And when they were little, I would take everything up to my kids' rooms. Well, yeah, eventually I was like, no, y'all take this up yourself. It's the least you can do. Now all my children do their laundry. They're all older, but my kids start doing their own laundry around 12-ish. I require it by 13, but some of them just wanted their own stuff washed by itself, or they wanted it on their time schedule. You know what I mean? Like 11 o'clock Sunday night. We are definitely going to chat about that for sure. Yes. Sue says, I know whose pregnancy announcement you're excited about. Yes, I am. Yes. Krista says, Sam has a new girlfriend. Yeah. And she seems to like her butt smacked in public. So Michael Riley, we're going to chat about that. Says, Andy and John Hill smacked Kelly Dodd, and good. I'm done with watching them and have been for over 2 weeks. Done with watching who? Kelly and Rick or Andy and John? I can't understand which one you're upset about. So yes, as I was walking, so today, Tuesdays and Thursdays are almost always like a pre-record. So John and Andy read a lot of the emails that they get at John or Andy is wrong at SiriusXM.com. So one of them says, and I didn't know anything about this, I hadn't heard anything, but they were kind of wrong according to what Kelly said and what Kelly's mom said, the rebuttal of it all. Someone writes in and says, did you hear about Kelly Dodd calling you a sissy? And basically, what do you think of that? Well, John, Andy kind of blows it off, but he's like, sissy. John Hill did not blow it off. I mean, he has a bone to pick with Kelly Dodd, and he went at her. He used some very strong words. She rebutted. I was out shopping. I was even in Home Goods when I saw the news. I got my phone out while my girlfriend found 2 beautiful green chairs. I mean, this color of green is going to look so good in our house. I'm so excited for her. Anyways, I hope her husband likes them because we didn't even send a picture to him. I said, do you want to send a picture? She's like, no. I'm like, that is my girl. Anyway, but I was like, she doesn't know anything about Housewives. So I was like, oh my God, one of my favorite housewives is pregnant. She just started laughing like, oh my God. Anyways, because I was holding down the 2 chairs for her while she went and got a guy to buy them for her. Anyway, so Kelly Dodd rebuts in the car saying, oh my gosh, and Rick is upset, which rightfully so. I mean, there weren't nice comments at all that John Hill said, and the mom is in the backseat. Kelly Dodd's mom is with them, and Kelly's like, I'm the one that called you a sissy. That's my name for you. So it wasn't even Kelly Dodd. So the guy had it wrong, but and that's why I tell people, listen for yourself. That's why if I can take a clip of something like the Andy Cohen call or the email, I did take a clip of that. And then I also reposted what Kelly said. I think she made 2 comments, 2 videos, basically saying that she will be talking about this on tomorrow's Rick and Kelly show, which they film at night. So I know lots of news. Gigi got married apparently to an old friend that she's been friends with a long time. Gigi from Shaw's of Sunset. Yes, Tiffany Chump says, for John, I don't think it mattered who said it. Yeah. In Andy is, I mean, obviously, Andy and John are very different. I mean, John is way more woke, if you will. Andy tends to get kind of like tiffy if John's like, well, we don't call it that, like Columbus Day, we call it Indigenous Day. And, Andy's kind of like, whatever, so Andy is a little more old school with that traditional, what's the other word for traditional? Not mainstream. I don't know. He kind of fights the whatever. Oh, he did. Oh, do you think he got in trouble? Michelle C says John apologized on his show that aired after Andy's. So Tuesday, perfect timing, is the John Hill show. So he had ample opportunity to be like, sorry. Wow. Kimberly Joy? I don't think so. I don't think Rick will ever leave Kelly. Kimberly J says, I swear Rick is going to leave Kelly soon. He cannot be happy with her mouth. He very much defends her. So I don't know. Hannah said, sounds like John has experienced some hate against him for his sexuality. Unfortunately, this happens every day. Absolutely. And John has made it very clear that he grew up in a very strict, conservative, religious household. So, and also at his age, he's 47, that's not the age range where, you could be 13, 14, 19 years old and coming out and be openly accepted. You know what I mean? So for sure, I don't think he's a boyfriend just yet. They're very much on the fence. Debbie says, John has a boyfriend. I don't think they're interested in each other anymore. Definitely Andy and John are grossed out by the fact of getting with each other. I commented on that from a few weeks ago when they said something, but John definitely doesn't have a boyfriend. He has a boy toy that he's been, but he's sick right now, taking some kind of antibiotic, something where he's been sick. So for whatever it is, they will not, they're not seeing each other as much, or that's why he hasn't seen the guy very much. Louise says, Rick will never leave Kelly. She emasculates that man daily, but he does not seem to care and just adores her. Yeah, he does. So, Michael Riley says, I think Kelly thought Rick had more money. Sorry. I mean, yeah, I don't think he meant, I think he was just, yes. Debbie says, Michael, how could anyone call Kelly fat? I don't care for her personality. I've tried, but she is pretty and has a rockin' body. Nobody in this world can call her fat with a right mind. I don't think he even meant that. Even Andy immediately said, well, she's not fat. So anyways, I guess we'll see how this goes. Somebody in the Facebook group said, I wonder if this will affect Jeff Lewis having Kelly, Dodd, and Rick on. I'm like, it won't affect anything unless this gets to a lawsuit, which it won't. It's just opinions. It has nothing to you. I don't think you can sue anyone for saying that you're fat. It doesn't ruin their business. It doesn't ruin their, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, didn't he call her a pig, dirty pig or something? Anyways, other than that, I was out last night. I did not watch 90 Day Fiance the other way. I think it was the first tell-all, which I think are so good usually. So I cannot wait to watch it. But also Real Housewives of New York City is on tonight. So is it tonight live? I think it is. Luna, you're not into anything, are you? Hope you're just rubbing around on the floor. Making noises. And I'm like, are you into something? Lulu. Come here. Lulu. I hate when a dog won't listen. It's like a kid not listening, right? Okay. I think he's on tonight live. That should be interesting because he's often not live. When I saw him in the audience, when he was with Bethany Frankel, when I was in that live audience, it was a recorded one because we watched it on a Monday night and I think it went to air on that Wednesday. So this will be interesting seeing him live. I think he's on with Saida Silva. So should be good. So it's on tonight. Yes. Good. Cynthia says, yes, Mom, I'm eating socks. Exactly. Like she's normally, out of the puppy stage. We think she's about 4.5, 5 years old. You know what I mean? But she was chewing on a shoe last week and got the heel part of it out. So I had to nail it back in. Anyways, Mama Judy getting feisty. She says, I love Kelly got called out. She shoots her mouth off all the time and nobody holds her accountable. Then Rick swoops in to defend her. Yeah. And Andy, yes. Oh my gosh. Christina says, and Andy's on the radio tomorrow. I don't think they'll touch it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see for sure what's going on for sure. Wait. Are you for real? Dina says, Kelly is already calling lawyers, I'm sure, to sue for defamation. Are any lawyers in the house or any smart people? Can you sue for defamation for what she said? I thought defamation means you say something like your business is illegal or, you say a lie. I don't know what's the one, defamation and not character assassination, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Mary E says, I wonder if Rick will ever get fed up with her mouth. See her for what she is. No idea. Oh, Adina. Oh, is she getting comfortable in the comments? Adina said she said in Instagram comments that she can sue because she's a public figure. But does saying you're a pig and fat, I thought it had to be, Jax Taylor. Good old Jax Taylor. You're not alone in your struggles. Jax. I mean, he's such a douchebag. I was stalking his page earlier. Okay, look at Shannon Bedore with one of her daughters. Oh, it was an old picture. Okay. Anyways, okay. I was going to look at Kelly Dodd's comment, but I haven't seen it. So, anywho, that's not defamation, Louise says. Defamation of care. It's slander. Yes, thank you, Renee. That's the other word I was looking for. Slander. Louise says Kelly could be sued for defamation 1,000 times for all the shit she says. Well, y'all definitely have opinion. Where are my Kelly defenders? Don't be afraid to be a smasher. We accept everyone here. We love opinions, and as long as you're being respectful, definitely have opinions. Krista says Jax is destroying himself with posts. Does anyone that lives in the area or anyone that's seen a video or from a blogger reporting on if his business is lacking? I know he's promoting this karaoke tonight that he will be at. Obviously, Britney just announced that she's going to have a bar in West Hollywood. somebody said it's going to be the same food. Like, I forget the name of it. If y'all told me, I'd remember. But apparently Jax's studio is attached. It's kind of an outdoor patio attached to a restaurant called like Rocco's or something like that. And the same food from there, but they call it different name. I don't know. The price is a little bit higher. I don't know. I'm hearing some weird stuff. But somebody DM'd me yesterday and said that Britney is going to use Rocco's also. So how does that food get from Rocco's to her place? Or is Rocco's building a bar in West Hollywood? Like, I was a little bit confused on that. You know what I mean? Hamilton says, Kelly says such horrible things about people on a regular basis, yet she has a meltdown when the tables are turned. For sure. Oh, that's true. Christina says, oh, dear Lord, we heard worse during the presidential campaign. Anna, amen. Woo! 35, pushing 40 pounds heavier than I would like to be. Hannah says, I'm kind of fat. I wouldn't sue anyone for calling me skinny. Just saying. Oh, my gosh. Okay, Kyle. No, but we can. We usually leave questions for the end, but let's talk about this because I don't know what's going on. Kyle said if we talked about the late uploads on the SiriusXM app. So not every week, not every day, but sometimes the videos go up at 7 o'clock-ish Texas time. Sometimes I don't know because there's not a button to pick to. There used to be something on there called like, well, look, here's the bell notification. Maybe that will do it. Oh, no, I do have them turned on. See, look, I do have, this is the video. So the blue one is the Jeff Lewis video. So the November 11th is up from yesterday, an hour and 50 minutes. Sorry, I wasn't in the mic. But I do have, see that bell? If you hit that bell right there, that gets you notified because now I just turned it off. So I'm going to turn it back on where it was. But it doesn't notify me when anything comes. It says you'll get notifications when this show airs. But I don't get a push notification when that comes up. So it's kind of annoying. But it'd be nice if the push notification would come up when it's not going to come on at the regular time. Came on sometime today. I don't know why it was late. I also don't know when people, so his new contract started October 21st. Y'all know I'm good with dates. So October 21st is the Monday is when his contract started. After that, there was normal podcasts. I think he, in general, puts up his Wednesday and Friday podcast, but he might kind of pick his most popular. Because on a commercial break the other day, I did hear him talking to Jameson and Shane, I think, about which podcast they were going to use because they were talking about the first hour or the second hour. No, I think they were just talking about first hour or second hour. They weren't talking about which day. So I think they put up Wednesday and Friday on Jeff Lewis Has Issues. But somebody let me know because I don't listen to those. I have the SiriusXM app. But even if some people don't choose to pay for SiriusXM, there's a huge audience that can't pay for SiriusXM because it's only available, I think, in North America. So unless you have a VPN or whatever all that kind of stuff is, that gets complicated to me technology-wise. So I wish he would announce or, tell me so I can answer the questions that people are asking me about why the Jeff Lewis Has Issues podcast is now saying encore. Are they saying encore? I feel like they're using the word encore. And then also they've got the word, like trial issue. Listen here for a free trial. So look on here. Here is the Jeff Lewis Has Issues podcast. The November 15th one. And also it's a short amount. It's 33 minutes, 34 minutes, 42 minutes. They're not the whole hour, even if you take out the commercials. 33 minutes, 34. So up until it looks like, yeah, even after his October 21st, the October 23rd, that one's up for free. October 25th is up for free. October 30th. But some of these, like Lala Kent Mercedes says encore bonus, it says. And then another Kyle Richards and Megan Weaver is encore. And then these other ones say subscribe next to it. And if you pull it up, it says play with free trial. So you can listen to it, subscriber early access. So I don't know. I mean, I thought on Wednesday, maybe that Wednesday, the podcast went up. And I thought on Friday, the Friday podcast went up. But honestly, I've never really paid attention because I don't have to listen to it as a podcast. But I do hope he clears that up for sure. Oh, thank you, Kyle. I was asking for help with my computer to make it faster again, my desktop. And I was deleting some stuff under downloads. I mean, the stuff I found, there was like parent permission slips from like field trips from 3 years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe this will make my stuff, whatever. Debbie says, talking about Kelly, and then we're going to move on to today's Jeff Lewis Live. Debbie says, I thought after Kelly married Rick that she'd change and become more calm. I watched her on Jeff one time and she seemed more calm. Then I tried watching her show. She's the same. I definitely think Jeff probably gives her a little wink and is like, don't go crazy on my show. The audience kind of, goes crazy about you. Don't give them anything to talk about. But definitely she is her own, on Rick and Kelly's show, she's definitely has no boss to tell her. She's just doing whatever ratings would be. You know what I mean? Hamilton says Kelly would have a very difficult time suing as there's loads of her unhinged and rude behavior on social media. Yeah, I assume that would be a defense. Okay, today Jeff was in New York City, seemed to get there okay. The fancy Delta One Lounge. He is with Paul Connell and Dolores Catania from formerly Real Housewives of New Jersey. It is especially Dorinda and Margaret. Margaret was definitely sounding like, I'm just thankful for what I have. Please ask Andy Cohen if we have a job or not anymore. Yes, Monroe is with Jeff Lewis because she already did her homework or math homework or something for the week. So he was excited for that. Kyle said, what episode was this on, JLL? Because I missed it. Which one? We talking about today's episode today, if that's what you mean, Friday. Anyway, sounds like Dolores doesn't know anything about this fancy Delta One Lounge, which I'm kind of surprised because I don't know how much money Paul has, but I think he's been very successful for a long time. He even talked about like flights and people would just pick me up and get me where I needed to go and reschedule a flight. And like I had people that took care of that. So I'm sort of surprised. Some people, especially business people, when they're traveling on other people's dimes as their job, they get very much into the lounge status because they spend so much time, especially when you're famous or rich. I guess you don't want to be around like the normies, So I kind of understand wanting to be a lounge, maybe getting some work done, maybe resting, maybe a little bit of downtime away from everyone. So I'm kind of surprised they're not into this Delta One Lounge situation. But Jeff tells us the story with the traveling that the hot nanny left her phone at home. They had to turn around and go get it because normally he'd be like, look, you left your phone. You did this last time. We were about to miss our flight. So basically they left, flew back to LA. She had to buy a new phone. Then the hotel mailed her phone a couple of days later. So he's not playing around. He's like, look, you've done this once. But now he's like, look, I can't start off this trip with my 8-year-old daughter who doesn't have a phone with the nanny who doesn't have a phone because, like nowadays you can borrow anyone's phone. I mean, remember back in the day when it's like you had to ask an adult because only adults had a phone and you had to ask like, can I call my mom to come pick me up or so if there was no pay phone or regular phone? And you were just real quick, like, hey, mom, I'm on the neighbor's phone, come pick me up really quickly. You know what I mean? Jet says, Sarah, how does Jeff handle it when fans approach and he has Monroe? Like, do people go, oh, hi, sweetie, or does she hide or what? So I think I've only seen Monroe twice in the wild, not even in the wild, once in the wild, once at a party that he had announced she was going to be at. The Hollywood House of Season 2 party, because remember that's when he engaged, went back and forth. Gage didn't want to bring him to bring her, and didn't want any pictures taken of her, all that kind of stuff. So she was at that party, but kind of walking around with like the nanny or something. I didn't really pay attention. I certainly didn't go up to her, didn't take a picture of her. with her or away from her, nothing. When we saw her, 4 other adults were with me, other Jeff Lewis fans, when we saw them on the streets of New York City, and I pointed out to that he had just walked by with Monroe, and then one of the people with us yelled out, "Hey, Jeff," or whatever, and they turned around. Jeff stopped and talked to all of them. I stood away. They all kind of talked to him too, probably more than the other 2. But no, I would say she's a little shy. She definitely kind of does the, go into his leg kind of thing. Jeff was kind of like, I think this is like a year ago. This is last year, about 11 months ago. This was in December. I feel like Jeff has gotten, as she's gotten older, as she's gotten more opinionated, maybe her counseling, being more respectful of her opinions and stuff, and just with fans, I think he's probably becoming a little more, I think he would have just said, "Hey, I'm with Monroe. We're going to keep going," because that's what, he probably should have done. Would it probably upset some fans? Yeah, but it's also him and his daughter. He can do whatever he wants, right? So anyways, but yeah, I do think some people are different. And even, Margaret and Dorinda in the second hour, we're talking about fans coming onto their property and like, "Hey, Margaret, hey, Dorinda." And I'm like, oh my God. But people have told me they've done that with Jeff, and definitely people have driven by his house. So if you think people don't tell me that stuff, they do tell me that stuff. And I've never done that. I never even thought to do that. So she leaves her phone. They go home and get it. They get to the thing just fine. Really, I didn't feel like Dolores and Paul had a lot to talk about. She's got some beautiful 6-carat diamond earrings on, apparently, a gift from Paul. Very much promoting her, what's it called? Shit. What's that? I don't know what it's called. Something. She's been promoting it on, I follow her on Instagram. It's like a fancy, it sounds like, I think it's full-size product. She has 1 million followers. That's a big following for a housewife. They usually have 600 to 800,000, but she's been there a long time. So, let me try to find the name of this. Turn my volume down. Well, she's not promoting it, so whatever. Whatever her account. It's something, text Dolores something at whatever. It's something where you get like $1,500 worth of products and it costs $250. Beauty Pass. Thank you, Christina. Beauty Pass, which I've never heard of. A lot of times what I see Bethany promote will be the same thing that people on TikTok promote, and other people would be like this trend that comes out where, they must have asked a lot of influencers. I haven't really heard of anyone else doing it, but she says she's the only one doing it. So, Krista says, "Don't you think Monroe would be so easily recognized without Jeff with a nanny? She looks like Jeff Lewis's twin in a wig." Well, yeah, because Jeff puts her on social media every once in a while, and she really hasn't changed a whole lot in the last couple of years. So that's kind of why Andy Cohen stopped around age 2 or 3 of showing Ben's face, is because you get to a point when your face is kind of who you are. Like if I showed you a picture of me at 7, you'd go, "Oh yeah, that's Sarah." Like I do look like Sarah. So, but also they mentioned where she was, or, I think Shane accidentally mentioned where they were, where the nanny might have been with her. And then they tried to play it off like, no, maybe they're there tomorrow or another one. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she does a lot of plastic surgery. It does become, I do think some celebrities run with security for good reason, but that's got to be awfully expensive too. I'm not saying these rich people don't have the money, but at some point, security's got to be, to travel with you, security's got to be at least $100 an hour. And I'm sure I'm way off on that. That adds up. And also the uncertainty of when you need it, do you need it, Tuesday, 7 to 11? Do you need it Monday? I don't know how all that works, but I don't think he goes around with security, because nothing big that he's ever said has ever happened. But if something did, I'm sure it would change. Just like I think a switch went off And the Kardashians are all about security, Taylor Swift, but rightfully so. People have attempted, and threatened some pretty serious things. Krista said, I'd be mortified to have my child out in the city without security. But also I feel like when there's safety in numbers, like when you're out with people, and, I would like to think people won't do crazy stuff. But did y'all see the video? I guess it was a neighbor. There's got to be something obviously mentally going on, but this man is holding his daughter's hand, almost like walking across the street in like Queens or somewhere in New York, not even taking him to school. I think he was taking him to breakfast or something. And a man walks the other way and just grabs the little kid's hand, swings him up in the air. Well, luckily the dad is holding on tight, and it just kind of looks at him. And you see the video, the guy just keeps walking into his apartment complex. I mean, they're calling it attempted kidnapping, but I mean, literally broad daylight in front of the street with the dad, like crazy. Like, what do you do? Like, I mean, I don't even think it was anyone famous. You know what I mean? I mean, I see videos of Taylor. I don't know who her security is, though. Louise says, have you seen Taylor Swift's security? I'm surprised the main one I see with her all the time is really short, not at all threatening looking. Well, I bet he's got some protection on him. You know what I mean? I don't know. Ew. Oh, Krista, that's sad. Krista says, I love your sweet, naive heart. There are people stalking children to kidnap daily. It's terrifying. Oh, yeah, that's awful. Yes. I do try to be realistic, but for my own mental health, it's so hard as a parent, as a human, to worry about everything. So within reason, I do try to know what I'm doing and all that and be safe. But yeah, I just can't live my life like someone's, and I'm not famous, but I mean, I'm sure they kidnap normies too, Anyways, so Dolores talks about having fat, like sort of like liposuction sucked out of her knees because the skin was so much. She's gotten a little, I love Dolores. I've met her a couple of times, and yes, she remembered me the last time I saw her. She's like, oh, I know who you are. I'm like, oh my God. But she looks great. She looks very natural, but she's doing a lot of work. And I just hope she has all that money in the bank sitting there. You know what I mean? I hope Paul is spending all the money. I did love the story where she says, his 50th birthday came around and I wanted to bring him on this fancy trip. I think it was St. Bart's. Is that what it was? And she's like, I went top of the line. I did all this stuff. But she's like, in the back of my head, I knew he would never let me pay for it. And he didn't. And he was like, oh, I'm paying for everything. And she's like, oh, thanks. And I'm like, sort of love that. Don't know what happened. Did they really remember how she was going to like go into business with him for like plumbing? I don't know that ever really happened. I don't think she's like answering calls and making plumbing appointments. I don't know what's going on with that. They didn't really, they promoted this line that they have. This, what did we call it? What did we call it? Somebody told me what it was called. Shoot. Beauty pass. I don't know. Sounds like they won't know anything until the beginning of the year. I don't feel like any of the OGs are coming back because I feel like every podcast, every interview that I hear, they literally sound, I don't think they could fake acting. I think they would be more like, well, we'll see. I think they would be super cocky and just kind of leading people on if they had heard they were already coming back. I really don't think they know. And I think they're leaning towards thinking they're not coming back. So I think they're trying to venture out and be all the things. And that's why you got this Blonde Ambition tour. So on the second hour was Dorinda and Margaret. So they said they're really good friends. Did y'all sense more tension like throughout the show, or was it just me? I just didn't. Even things like, God, what was it? There was something I always can tell. like I've said, I think the Humble Brag podcast was okay. I like that they broke the fourth wall. I'm not buying that Cynthia and what's her face are really good friends. What's her name? Jesus Christ. Cynthia and oh my God. Coconut Girl. That's not the right name. Coconut Girl. Rob's wife. Minkoff. Crystal Minkoff. Thank you. I get so proud of myself when I remember something. Thank you. But I just don't believe that they're as good of friends as they're trying to sell me. I also, when I saw the promotion of this Blonde Ambition tour, I was like, oh, like when have I ever seen Dorinda and Margaret like hanging out or doing anything? There just seemed to be a lot of like more on Dorinda's part, maybe because I feel like she's always in a pissing contest with people, like trying to prove herself. I don't know. I don't think she needs money, but yet she's always hustling, which I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I don't know what that was about. Exactly. Okay. This goes into my thoughts that they're all spreading their waters. They're all seeing what else we can do in the business because we don't have a job coming back. And I've gotten used to the fame, or I've gotten used to the money. I need to keep on being on TV or having my name out there because I know it helps all my other business adventures, right? You think Envy would be, if it even is successful, as successful as it is now without the show? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Do you think anyone would know what Kodo Insurance is? No, it's definitely had to have helped her business for sure. Yvonne Gal says, did you see that Melissa and Joe Gorga filmed with the cast of Jersey Shore, not New Jersey? Yes, for sure. Oh, y'all talking about the safety of New York City? Yeah, Sarah Lee says, I'm more afraid in small towns than New York City. Well, and sadly, we've gotten to a point where anything can happen anywhere. I mean, I definitely for sure. Yeah. So, they're in a similar, not really. I mean, even like Dorinda and Marge, Dorinda's kind of, a widow, not dating anyone seriously, has this big house, very involved with her parents. She has got an apartment in New York, the radio show, and a grown adult daughter that's in college getting her PhD. Margaret Josephs has 3 or 4 grown children, or maybe one biological, but 2 or 3 stepchildren that she helped raise and is close with them. She's married. I feel like Lexi and her son still maybe live with her. So she's more surrounded. Like there was even a little bit of thing where I heard where Margaret was like, well, I've got a crew, so I've got to have money because I've got all these people around me. And I was like, I think Dorinda's just babysitting her grandpuppy Parsley. I was like, oh goodness. So this Blonde Ambition tour is not Housewives centric. That to me was a key of they're just not coming back. It's basically, look, we're who we are. We are both business people. Now I've told you, if you're an OG, I love a documentary, but I love an autobiography too. I think the only 2 Housewives books I've read are Dorinda Medley's, which was actually really good, and Margaret Josephs' book, which was really good. I probably have one or both up there. Anyways, they are really good. Well, Marge's was more business minded and like all of her businesses and stuff like that, stuff with her ex-husband. Dorinda's book was more personal. It gave more insight into her marriage, when he passed away and when he was sick and stuff, but it was really good. But I just feel like the show, I went to a show with friends that was probably the worst put together show I've ever seen. And it was Dave Quinn was the host. And I was very disappointed. So at the very end, they talk about the difference between Dave Quinn and this Peter Panos. Who is Peter Panos? I've definitely heard of Dave Quinn because Jeff has a long feud with him over the Peter Panos. Is this who he is? The host of Simply Deep podcast? I'm assuming, okay, Margaret follows him. So I'm assuming that's him, Peter Panos. He's hunkalicious. A Greek boy who loves pop culture and beauty. Anyways, Dave Quinn is, I don't know. He wasn't a great host. Like, he just asked all these questions from the card, and I'm like, they billed it. It was, Ramona? Was it 4 people or 3? I think it was Ramona, Dorinda, and Countess Luann. And there was like feuding going on the couch. I was sitting there. We were like, what the hell are we watching? It was crazy. He wrote a book, Not All Roses and Not All Diamonds and Rosé, or something like that. I've never heard of Peter Panos before either. It is interesting that if they're in the same areas, that they are using different hosts now. So it seemed like that's the drama. I think Jeff, first of all, he loves to dog Dave Quinn. He's kind of subtle about it because he knows how much Dave Quinn is in the Bravo world and all the Bravo celebrities that he's friends with. But I feel like Jeff knew there was some tension. Maybe one of or both of them had told them this one wasn't working out, so we're bringing in this guy. So Peter Panos is the one that's hosting the early December show. I think it's New York City. But I feel like Dave Quinn, I don't think Dorinda said something like, well, nobody else was taking control of the show, so I had to take control of the show, which to me seemed like a dig against Margaret Josephs also. I just thought there was a few things. Like, I cannot wait to watch the commercial break at the very end of the second hour where Jeff says, oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have gone to commercial because y'all were fighting. Like, I think this is going to be the last of the Blonde Ambition tour. And they're like, no, things are fine. And basically they each told each other, don't answer a question for me. Like, don't put anything out there that I don't say myself. Even if I've told you, even if you know it. Well, then Margaret tells that one of them says, I kind of was getting their voices confused. One of them says, well, we know that you don't like both of the hosts because you've said that. And then they're like, well, you yelled at him. And then Dorinda was like, well, I didn't yell at him. I just told him that the game was dumb or boring or too long. I'm curious. I feel like I won't go back and watch the whole show, but I feel like there's probably a lot of looks or jabs or knee touches during this hour between Dorinda and Margaret for sure. Debbie says, Krista, Dorinda dumped her plate of spaghetti. Wait, what? Dumped her plate of spaghetti on top of her late husband's head at a political event in front of Madeleine Albright. He had said something she didn't like. Oh my God. Wait, what? So obviously she came on the show when Richard had just passed away. So we never saw that, but yeah. Dorinda's definitely up or down. I mean, she can be super aggressive, especially whenever she drinks. She can be very bold, yet she can require lots of rules of Bluestone Manor. Apparently, she's going to have a show on Peacock. I don't think it's going to do very well. I'm surprised after Vanderpump Villa with all those young, hot people and Lisa Vanderpump on it and the allure of it being in France or wherever it was. I'm sort of curious. And this will be on Peacock. That's not the same. Not as many people have Peacock as Bravo, right? I mean, I don't know numbers, but I would have to assume. Jet says, I really hope the low ratings prompt these Housewives showrunners to completely revamp the format back to raw and messy and get rid of this performative scripted error. Amen. Like, seriously, the planning and the fake friends and the, and even gotta love Sarah Fraser. Y'all know I do. I caught a video on her Instagram, the Sarah Fraser show. She's got the publicist, which I'm like, why is the publicist being interviewed? Like, why did she agree to it? Interesting. She's got the publicist of Raquel Leviss. And I think she's saying that Scandival was planned of sorts. And I'm like, okay, does then that mean your client Rachel Leviss, was she involved and she went ahead with it? Like, then don't cry, woe is me. Like, oh my gosh. Louise says, I would never watch a show that revolves around Dorinda. And you know it's going to revolve around Dorinda for sure. I mean, I don't know. Just definitely seems like New Jersey's not coming back. I mean, I think when Margaret heard that Andy was going to be on the show tomorrow, what was it her that said ask him, or was it Dolores? I can't remember who it was now. It wasn't good. Louise says, I love Lisa Vanderpump, and I didn't watch her recent show. I tried to watch, but I just didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't even finish it. And that is not like me to watch half of a season. I didn't even finish season 1. It was so produced, so grotesque. I didn't like it at all. I can't believe it's coming back for a season 2. I guess obviously Michael Beck is the showrunner, so it's supposed to be even better. Stassi's going to be involved. I don't even know if Stassi can, you know what I mean? Chad, oh God. Chad says Dorinda's like the rich grandma who you visit and all the furniture is covered with plastic and she counts out the potato chips as she gives them to you. You're not wrong. Although, yeah, I don't feel like it'd be potato chips because that'd be too messy. That's funny. Yeah, I'm surprised there'll be a season 2 also. There really wasn't much else. She basically says the show that's going to be on Peacock, it's going to be like a Below Deck on land. So we'd already been hearing about this. I don't think that Jeff knew she was allowed to promote it, so I don't think they had any real details yet. But, we'd been hearing it was going to be like an Airbnb, and, she's already said that she's had all these sold out events. I think she's also had a couple of events that were canceled, maybe because not enough people had shown up. So I don't know. I think these events that she's doing are like $400 or $500 a person for like 2 hours of time. So that's pretty fancy. That's above my pay grade for I've got $500. It's just not going to Dorinda for Bluestone Manor for 2 hours. Because one of them, I think she wasn't even inviting people in the house, which I get. I wouldn't want people in my house. And if you do it too small, then you're not even making enough money. Like you need 50 or 100 or 200 people there to make it make sense. Otherwise, catering for 20 can cost almost much as catering for 30 or 40, gets a bit much. What else? I guess we're going to leave it open for, you know what? I put out my email again, asksarahfromtexas@gmail.com. Nope, no questions. Just check my email. If y'all want to start putting either, questions that I can read at the end, kind of like I've been doing it longer than I had the idea. I don't know if I actually did it, but longer than Ask Andy is whatever it is. Andy is wrong at SiriusXM.com. Oh, I know. Yes. Oh, y'all know what I had today. So I told y'all my husband grilled a lot of food Saturday night, the LSU game. Saturday night, we had friends over. So there was 3 of these jalapeno hot dogs left, but bigger than like a sausage. Anyways, I heated them up and dipped my French onion dip in it. Oh my God. I usually do mustard, but it was so good. So good. Christina says chumbettes are mentally well-adjusted. Ooh, I love that. Who is pregnant? Erin Leachy from Real Housewives of New York. Okay, Louise says, I wonder if Frank Catania's wedding will be on Bravo. I'd watch that. Did you hear Dolores say her ex David is performing the ceremony? Who's her ex David? Oh, Dolores. Oh, Dolores David, the doctor. Oh, that's interesting. They really became good friends. So she said that today. I totally missed that. Oh gosh. Oh, I love that actually. I'm really sad. I have not met Frank Catania. I've actually heard he and Britney are very nice. Very, very, very nice. I didn't love it when she was first because I don't really think he was super hands-on for a long time. maybe until the kids got older. She's pretty much said she was a single mom, so I don't love all of that. And then I know his attorney license got taken away for something, so I didn't love when he first came on, but I think he's turned into a reputable guy. And their wedding got postponed because of the back-to-back hurricanes in Florida, so that's why it is. Yes, Debbie, I reposted on my Instagram, and I think the Facebook group, but I don't remember. I was out shopping, so I might have not have done that. Debbie says, Erin is pregnant. I had no idea. She just announced it today. She's the only person I like on that show. I watched to see her clothes. That's about it. I know. She's going to be so cute. She's so pretty. I think she's beautiful. Yeah. She said it on a different podcast. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay, Hamilton. I wish they would add more humor instead of always fighting. On the Housewives, I mean, let's face it. It's like everyone's saying, oh, don't slow down and watch the bad car wreck. Well, everyone does. Or I would say 97% of people. And if you try to speed by it, you end up watching because you already slowed down anyway. So it becomes kind of this ripple effect. I say that to say people say they want lighthearted on the Housewives, and they don't. They want fighting. They want drama. They want, he said, she said, this said in the confessional, this said at a fight, that's what you see trailers about. You don't see trailers of them having fun. Let's just face it. You don't. So I don't know. Anyways, what else? Tonight is New York. Like I said earlier, apparently Erin mentions a pregnancy and says this isn't the same pregnancy that I was talking about on the Tonight Show. It's just a coincidence. I don't know if it's a coincidence. I think she was just, looks like the belly has popped and she couldn't hide it anymore. I'm sure rumors were starting to get spread, and it's not exactly winter in New York yet, so she couldn't hide it so much, I suppose. And it's her fourth, at least probably pregnancy, maybe alluding to a fact that maybe she had lost another pregnancy. We're not really sure. Yes. Now I do agree. Old Housewives was totally different. Even the fighting was not to the level that it is now. I think the first thing where it got really bad was when who did Teresa, was it what's her face? The girl that's the prostitution whore that gets engaged every other week to a different guy. Is she the one that pulled the hair on Margaret Josephs in the boutique? Whoever that is. I feel like when they started doing that kind of stuff, the wig pull on Atlanta in the streets, when they're touching each other and getting each other's face, it just turned, and it's just really, really dark now. I like facts. I like saying you did this, you did that, you said this, but also in real life, we don't talk about each other into their face. We talk about it to a mutual friend who also doesn't like that person. That's what's called trauma bonding. When two girls have another girl they don't like, that's who gets together and goes to coffee and they bitch talk about the other girl. Debbie says, that's what I liked about the old Roni. They could be funny. I loved Sonia. I don't like all the fighting. I love Sonia. I don't like what we know about Sonia now is that when she's off the show, she gets very quiet. They don't talk, whatever. I wanted to know that Sonia, Luann, Ramona, Dorinda, that they all hung out every once in a while. I wanted them to really like each other. But I think they do so much in the 4 or 5 months that they record that they just like take a breather and go and hang with regular family and friends. You know what I mean? Like they're so busy with filming. I don't think that they can, but then they start promoting on the off season. So clearly it gets to be a mess. Libby said, it's the best when you see old friends or foes razz each other and know the funny buttons to push or hold back. Yeah. Like, one of the meanest things I remember is when Bethany Frankel called Sonia to come over and discuss that she was basically stealing or too closely infringing on her skinny girl business. You know what I mean? And she kind of smacked her, not physically, but, verbally for that. But now it's so much darker. It's just crazy. Christina says when Teresa Giudice flipped the table, it changed all the Housewives shows after. I feel like it was still good for a solid 8 to 10 years after the table flip. To me, the table flip was so over the top. I thought it was a one and done. But you're right. Now all the glasses and the throwing of the cake and, glasses thrown on that can cut you and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. Debbie says, remember the episode where they all met for lunch and Dorinda showed up late and she was hungover and nuts and screaming, clip, clip, oh, clip, clip, clip. She's got some good ones. You got to hand it to her. Anyways, well, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining live. It is so much fun. If you are listening or watching as a replay, also still make sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit the heart button, make a comment. Make sure you're listening to me everywhere at Sarah from Texas Podcast. And please give me a 5-star rating and review on the podcast anywhere you listen. I would really appreciate it. This week, I will be on at 4:00 Eastern every single day. With the holidays, things get a little tricky. So most of the time, y'all know how regular I am and how committed I am to y'all. But most of the time, I will always be on at 4, but I will always let you know if I can't. It's 11 o'clock. Jet, remind me where you're from. 11 p.m. Shout out. Yes, where are you, Jet? Remind us if you want. Thank you, Kimberly. Okay. Maybe she already got off. Great episode. Oh, I love that. Prague. So fancy. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Bye, y'all. See you tomorrow.